Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Noobs to Pros. This will be our 26th episode, and in today's game, we'll be playing the Centurion mk7/1 on one of the old maps, Abbey. Abbey is a fairly standard map. Most people play it in a fairly standard way. There is not much to this map. Either you can rush down the 8-9 line in your heavy, but generally that's not really advised since there might be TDs camping in the back that will spot you before you get to the first safe rocks, and they might actually take you out. Alternatively, in the medium you can go in the middle, which I'm doing with my friend in this frame who's driving his T54. I have to say I love the British medium line. Centurion mk7 is probably one of my favorite tanks in the game. So is the Centurion 1 and the Cromwell. Unfortunately, I had to sell my Centurion because I needed cash to get the 704. Seeing right now that there wasn't that many people pushing the 1-2 line, which we should be doing, because I think that's the most ideal situation for a heavy to be in, because you have those tall bridges to cover you from RD from your left side. I just leave my friend in the T54 in the middle to sort of like take charge of that situation, and I'm coming over here with my other friend who is driving his T30 and hopefully support him over here. Now we slowly start getting some heavy tanks coming in this direction. The Lurvis starts making his way towards here. The E75 starts finally to move off our cap, and starts making his way towards us. And so what we are going to do is we're going to hold the line until those two heavies come into play. Dread moves ahead, who's driving his T30, into a spot in which he can get crossfire on things that are going on the bush to his left. Because on this ridge there's little holes through which you can shoot into the Abbey. So he's just going to watch that, and I'm going to try to back him up. And so at this point I kind of like realized that there's nobody who has spotted the road that's going underneath us, so I don't want to be surprised. And I see a 704 staring back at me. I quickly take a shot on the Tiger and I back off. I have no intention of trading shots with the 704, but I know the 704 just fired on the E75, and I look to see if he took damage. He bounced. I try to see if I can get maybe another shot of the Tiger P, but he probably moved forward. Over here I try to take a sneaky shot on the 704, but unfortunately I cannot pen. That gunman little in that tank is rather foolish. Dread over here puts a very big shot in the Tiger, and I will come over. For a second I'm just sitting over here, trying to take shots on the E75, but then I spot him to kill on the Tiger, and I take him out of the game. Now E75 comes up finally, and starts putting some sort of pressure on these tanks. I see the E75's turret is showing behind the rock, and I take a sneaky shot. I make him pay for not paying attention to how his track to the tanks in front of him. This Tiger P got very lucky. Actually, the Dread actually bounced the shell off his turret, which he wasn't expecting. Now what we're doing is we're gonna move in onto these two tanks, because we sort of like assumed at this point that the 8-9 line was gonna not hold. I take a shot from the E75 to the base. The Dread goes around and removes the Tiger and puts one in the E75. I again go forward, put another shell in the E75, and before I can reload again, he gets taken out as he starts moving back towards us. Now at this point there's only a Tiger left. I know his HP is fairly low. I put one shot into him, and the T30 finishes him off. Now we're starting to go in the other direction now. What I'll be doing, there's a couple of things you can be doing if you get people on your cap. There's a row of hedgerows that or bushes that I'll just go past. In the corner you can use those to hopefully spot something on cap if they're sitting in the open, but that's not really a very good spot, because if tanks know what they're doing on cap, they can just hide behind the rock and become immune to any fire coming from these hedgerows. So what I'm gonna do is use this amazing turret on this tank, and I'm gonna go down just on the ramp that leads into our base and hopefully spot the tanks that are coming onto the cap. Now over here for a second I wasn't so sure whether the IS-3 was pushing or not. I looked behind him and I can see finally that he probably spotted an easy kill on the teammate. I make him pay for his like arrogance, I suppose, into some respect, or greed, and I make him pay with blasting a shot right through his frontal armor. I come forward and try to sneak another shot in, but he gets into a good position relatively quickly. At this point I'm not interested in trading shots with the IS-3, so I kind of like back off and make my way towards the ramp again. Unfortunately for my platoon mate, he gets picked off by the sneaky T-71 on the enemy team. Now I'm slowly moving up, trying to see where they are, and I spot the IS in the K5 in the further corner. I put one shot in the IS, setting him on fire. I think he either had a automatic fire extinguisher probably, and it gets taken out fairly quickly. Now I know both of the tanks have fired. I was trying to bait shots from both of them, and they do. And I took my time and put one shot in the KV5. Now over here I see the IS is not paying attention. I decided to start and put another shot into the IS. Now the IS over here is not feeling so lucky anymore. I don't want to pressure him any more than I have. He backs up behind the rock, and it's not worth taking shots from a KV5, an IS, and G71 just to kill one IS. So over here I aim again for the KV5, and KV5 bounced to me, but unfortunately I bounced him as well. I had aimed for his R2D2 port, which is the giant hatch in the front, but unfortunately he started moving back at just the right moment. I take another shot from the K5. I thought I was just going to finish off the IS-3, but fortunately for the IS-3, by the time I had reloaded, he had already died. So the T-71 comes up and finally finishes off our larvae on our team. I almost finished off the T-71. The E-75 on our team comes up and finishes the job that I started. I tried to take a shot on his commander's hatch. Unfortunately, he starts backing off, and I never really had a good shot on him anyways. He takes a giant shot from somebody, I can't tell who, but his R2D2 port, I can shoot through the crates and finish him off. Now there's a T-30 behind us who takes the easy kill and kills the E-75, one of the most dangerous T-9 tanks. Dread jumps through the bushes and plants one shot into T-30. I know the T-30 was probably looking for an easy kill on Dread. At this point I see his gun staring in my direction, so I put one into him and finish him off. Now Dread and me were like talking about that I have to take a shot for the team and hopefully finish off the T-95 because he's sitting in base, but we were completely wrong. The T-95 surprises us by going up the middle and coming straight for our cap. He finishes off Dread, who unfortunately died with 5 kills. I tried to track him, but unfortunately on the move the accuracy on this thing is not the greatest. The T-28 plants a shot behind in the T-95, our T-28, sorry, planted a shell in the T-95. He plants one again, tracks him. T-95 either had a great repair crew with toolbox, or he just had 2 repair kits, because I'll track him one more time, but he will be very quick to fix it. Sorry to ruin the surprise. Over here I'll just play, I'll just round around the corner, hope to try to get the rear of this tank, and when you get behind the T-95 it is basically done for. So hopefully you learned something from this video. Hopefully I showed you a good game in the Centurion Mark 7. It is one of my favorite tanks, and I continue to play it on it even though I have the FE422. If you have any comments, suggestions, or things that I could have done better in the game, please let me know. And hopefully I'll see you in the next episode, and hopefully that one will be as entertaining as this one.